How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the channel where we talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. My name is Miles Gutierrez. Thank you for joining me today. We're going to be talking about a brand new horror film from Blumhouse Pictures called Imaginary. The film revolves around a woman that returns to her childhood home to discover that her imaginary friend that she left behind is very real and unhappy that she abandoned him. Now, I will give credit where credit is due. I think the premise for this movie is actually quite engaging. I really like what they were trying to go for. As somebody that grew up with an imaginary friend, this is something that's going to be right up my alley. However, when I dug into this movie, my enthusiasm just went out the window because this film is directed by Jeff Wadlow, who gave us Academy Award winning films such as Truth or Dare and Fantasy Island. So when I saw that those two movies were the movies that this guy directed, I just knew exactly what I was going to get with this movie, and I knew not to get my hopes up really high. Now, even when I go into a horrible movie, I like to come out with the positives, and really the only positive that I have for this movie is pretty much the concept. I think the concept is absolutely brilliant, and you could have done something that would have been creepy yet fun all at the same time. And well, let's just go ahead and get into the negatives because this is exactly what you think it's going to be, a generic horror movie that has no substance to it, no real scares to it, has a lot of shitty CGI. And quite frankly, I was really hoping that I could have some fun with this movie because even if the movie is so absurd, you can have some fun, even if it's dumb fun. This movie could have been so bad, it's good, and yet it was just bad. If you know exactly what you're going to be getting with this movie, then you're probably going to have some fun. Now, this movie is probably going to be aimed more towards the teen demographic. This is a gateway horror movie for those that are trying to get into horror, but don't want to really go into the really risky stuff such as sinister, insidious, stuff like that. And so if you're in that demographic, this is going to be a movie that you can have fun with because it doesn't really lean too much into the horror. It's really more of what I wanted this movie to be, and it leans more into the psychological thriller. However, it doesn't do that very well. The characters aren't enjoyable. You can't really get behind anybody. However, these actors were directed poorly by Jeff Wadlow, and it was just one of those movies that I was just really bored with from beginning to end because as soon as I saw what the monster was going to be, what Chauncey was going to look like, at that point I was already checked out, and it's hard for me to get checked back in, especially when you have such a brilliant concept like this. It just felt like they didn't know what they wanted to do. It just felt like they just wanted to do a generic horror movie. And that is where my disappointment with Blumhouse really comes into because I used to be super excited for a Blumhouse movie. Whenever you saw that creepy logo, you knew that you were going to be in for at least a fun time. And 7 out of 10 times, they would really knock it out of the park. However, nowadays, it's like playing Russian roulette. You don't know what you're going to be getting, and that is really where most of my disappointment comes with this movie and with Blumhouse now because I used to be really excited for a Blumhouse picture. Now it's just, I'll see when the embargo drops because that usually gives me a really nice sense of whether or not the movie is going to be good. If the reviews don't drop 24 hours before the movie comes out, then that is where it's going to tell me exactly what I'm going to be getting. If you're just a casual person wanting to see a fun horror movie that is kind of goofy, but yet at the same time not really all that scary, you're probably going to have more fun with this movie than I did. But for me, who really wants Blumhouse to come out with a banger of a movie, this was just not it for me. The jump scares are generic. The CGI is generic for a horror film. Characters aren't likable. Some of the performances here and there aren't really all that credible, but then it goes in such a goofy way towards the end of the movie. But overall, I'm going to go ahead and give Imaginary a 1 out of 10. While I was not really majorly disappointed with this movie, I knew exactly what I was going to get when I saw that Jeff Wadlow was going to be directing this movie. That's where my excitement of this film dropped, and that's really such a bummer because I don't want to be able to judge a movie on those bases, but that is where we are nowadays. But those are my thoughts on Imaginary. Have you guys checked it out? Are you planning on checking this film out? Go ahead and drop your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll catch you guys on the next review.